Hello everyone. Have you ever wondered what actually happens when someone applies for bail? Is it just about paying money to get out of jail or is there real law behind it? In this video, I am breaking down everything about bail applications in India. What bail means, its types, how to file one, and even what a real application looks like. Stick around till the end because I'll show you the do's and don'ts that most people get wrong. Let's get into it. What is bail? So, what exactly is bail? Bail is the conditional release of a person accused of a crime or furnishing a bond while the investigation, inquiry, or trial is still going on. It's not an acquittal, the person isn't declared innocent. They are just released temporarily on condition while the case continues. This whole idea comes from one core principle in Indian law: bail is the rule, jail is the exception. And that principle actually traces back to Article 21 of our Constitution, which says no person shall be deprived of life or personal liberty except by procedure established by law. That's the constitutional backbone of every bail decision in the country. Now, bail isn't just one single thing. There are four main types. One, anticipatory bail. This is bail sought before arrest when someone fears they are about to be arrested for a known bailable offense under the new BNSS. This is section 482. Earlier it was section 438 of the CRPC. 2. Regular bail. This is sought after arrest for someone already in custody. That's BNSS section 480 and 481. Earlier CRPC 437 to 439. 3. Interim bail. A short temporary relief given while a regular or anticipatory bail plea is still pending a final decision. And 4. Default bail, also called statutory bail. This becomes a legal right if the police fail to file their charge sheet within the time limit. That's BNSS section 187, earlier of CRPC 167 and 167. Subclause 2. If you want to know about detail for a crime who is punishable for more than 7 years, the condition of date is 19 days, 90 days, and if the crime is punishable less than 7 years, then the time limit is 60 days. So, how does a judge actually decide whether to grant bail? Courts weigh several factors: the nature and seriousness of the accusation, how severe the punishment could be if convicted, whether there is a real risk of the accused tampering with evidence or witnesses, the chance the accused might flee, their character, background, and standing in society, how long they have already spent in custody, their age, health, and gender, and whether there is a risk of the offense happening again. It's balancing act between personal liberty and the interest of justice. Let's walk through the actual process step by step. So, step one is drafting. The application is prepared, laying out the facts, FIR number, charges, and grounds of bail. Step 2 is filing. It's filled in the right court, that could be a magistrate, session court, or even the high court depending on the case. Step 3 is notice. The court send notice to the public prosecutor or investigating officer to respond. Step 4 is hearing. Both sides argue, the defense and the prosecution. Step 5 is order. The court passes a reasoned order, either granting or rejecting bail, often with condition attached. And step 6, bond. If bail is granted, the accused furnishes a bail bond or surety and is then released from custody. What actually goes into a bail application? It's split into two parts. Part A covers the preliminary details, the court name, FIR number and section, names of the applicant and the opposite party, a brief summary of the facts and the custody period so far. Part B covers the substantive grounds, why bail should be granted, and assurance that the applicant isn't a flight risk, a promise to follow any condition the court sets, and finally the prayer clause with signatures. Now, here is what an actual bail application looks like in a structure. It starts with the court heading, naming the sessions, judge or magistrate, and the location, then the application number and the case title, state versus the accused with the FIR number and sections. The body starts with most respectfully see with and lists out number paragraph the arrest details, why the applicant claims innocence, the undertaking to cooperate, and why they are not a flight risk. It ends with a prayer asking the court to grant bail, followed by the place, date, and signature of the applicant or their counsel. Remember, this is just an illustrative format. Every real application should be adapted to the actual facts, jurisdiction, and applicable sections. Documents to attach. You can't just file a bail application on its own. It usually comes with supporting documents, a copy of FIR, the arrest memo, remand copies from the magistrate, identify proof like Aadhaar or a passport, address proof, and documents for the proposed sureties like property papers or income proof. Do's and don'ts. Before we wrap up, here are some quick do's and don'ts. Do state facts truthfully, backed by documents, disclose any earlier bail application and their outcomes, clearly mention your cooperation with the investigation, propose sureties who are genuine and verifiable. Don't suppress material fact or your criminal history. Give a false unverifiable address. Contact or approach witnesses will while the case is pending. Violate bail condition once you are released. Breaking any of this can get your bail cancelled or worse, hurt your case permanently. So that's the complete picture of a bail application. What it means, its types, the grounds courts look at the procedure, the format, and the key mistakes to avoid. As they say, justice delayed should not mean liberty denied. Just a quick reminder: this video is for general awareness only, and it's not a substitute for legal advice. Always consult a qualified advocate for anything case specific. If this helped you understand bail applications better, and drop your questions in the comments, I'll try to cover them in the next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.